We will, as I said, liberalize or narrow the restriction imposed by Section 33 and Section 2 and Section 33 of the Films Act currently. So we will allow more categories of party political films to be made and to be shown, you see. I think we have to then take some time to study the impact and the consequence of this liberalization. We cannot, at this juncture, set a time frame. But if things work out well, and if indeed there is responsible and accountable use of this medium to advance public political discourse, then of course the government will feel more assured that we can move to adopt the full recommendation by AIMS, which is to ultimately repeal this particular section. Let us take some time to study, as the technology evolves and as society continues to mature, perhaps we will come to that date, in due course.
Minister, you talked about safeguards to maintain accountability and responsibility for internet election advertising. Could you give us some examples of the safeguards, please?
Yes, this is a very difficult area. Countries have tried to introduce such an element of accountability. In fact, AIMS studies have shown that Australia, Canada, and Korea are some of the countries where they have tried to implement this. For example, in Australia and Canada, election advertisements, including online content, they require the name of the sponsor for this particular advertisement or for this particular content that's being posted, you see, so that there is a name attached to it. Of course, then you'll ask, is that a genuine or a pseudonym, a genuine name or a pseudonym? Well, these are issues that have to be studied, you see. And that's why I say that we will study how to ensure some level of accountability. Not all measures can be foolproof. That is the nature of the new media and internet, you see. But where we can, we will try to introduce this element of accountability to ensure that political debate continue to be conducted in a very rational manner, and that people who participate in this political debate does so objectively and are prepared to identify themselves rather than conceal their identity behind a cloak of anonymity that is provided by the new media.
Just verify, first of all, that extending the policy list for election advertising, that will come into force by the next election?
We intend to do so before the next election. Yes. I would like to point out that that is a separate measure to the liberalization of the Films Act, because Internet election advertising is governed by the Parliamentary Elections Act and the regulations on Internet election advertising.
I've got another question. It's to do with the decision not to have Internet advisory panel come in for ministerial ban on a film under Section 35. You said that the reason is that such films that are banned do not be party political films. Could you elaborate more on the thinking? What sort of films would be deemed harmful to be banned under Section 35, and why does it not to accept AIMS recommendation have the minister give reasons for the ban?
Well, under Section 35 of the Films Act, films can be banned on the ground of public interest. Unlike Section 33, which deals with party political film, and for which AIMS has recommended advisory panel to assist government, we feel that in the case of films that are against public interest, is a different category, and that such films should be banned, and the minister should make the decision, when such films pop up. I'd like to point out that this is a provision that has been used very, very sparingly in more than 20 years. In fact, as far as I know, our record shows we only have exercised it once. And in that case, the film was a film entitled Zahary's 17 Years. And in that case, notwithstanding that the provision did not require the provision of a reason by the minister in exercising the power, we did actually give a reason for the ban or for imposing a prohibition under Section 35, you see. I will draw your attention to this government media release, which was issued. This was issued in the 10th of April 2007 to announce the ban on the film Zahary's 17 Years. Para 2 of the press release set out the reasons for the ban. You can refer to it. I will not take the time to read through this Para 2, but it sets out the reason. So we have, in the one instance that we exercise the power provided by this section, actually gone ahead to provide the public with a reason in the hope that there will be greater understanding and support for the ban.
But you don't want to give the clarification to keep the ban.
There is no need to have that because there may well be situation where the giving of the reason itself could reveal certain sensitive information that may be against public interest, or may in fact reveal some element of the film that we think could in fact aggravate race or religious relations, you see. So that might in fact draw adverse publicity and doesn't contribute to public interest.
To add on to the question just now, are there ways, because there's in the past like Zahary's 17, these films end on the internet. So are there ways that the government is looking to perhaps monitor this, or since it's harmful films, what is the government going to do about it?
Could you repeat the point on your question first?
Like the film Zahary's 17 Years, basically the point is that films which are banned end up on the internet anyway. Is there a way that the government looks to enforce the ban more effectively?
The internet is a very pervasive, has far-flung reaches. We understand that it's not possible in some cases to completely remove everything that is undesirable. In the same way, we have not tried to block off all the undesirable websites that could have adverse impact on minors. So we restricted ourselves to just selectively blocking out 100 websites. In the case of Australia, they are blocking out, I think, 1,200 websites, and they are considering moving it to 10,000. In the case of UK, they block about 800 to 1,000 websites, and they may, in the course of time, add to the list. So we know that it's not possible to block out everything in certain situation, but that doesn't mean we should give in, be carried along by the tide. We should still state our position, and this is where the public feedback has reinforced the need for government to maintain this selective blocking, to maintain this as a symbolic statement of our society's value. Now, in the same way, the fact that films that we have disallowed, such as Zahary's 17, can continue to circulate on the internet, should not stop us from saying that such films are not desirable and not welcome in the Singapore context. That individuals on their own may be able to surf the web and pull down the film and watch it. I think is something intrinsic or something that we have to accept. But we should not at the same time say that because some individual can do so, we should therefore allow this film to circulate widely and openly in Singapore context. Because there is a difference from saying, from giving such films the right or the privilege to circulate freely in Singapore, to saying that those who want to watch it, well, you go to the dark reaches of the internet and pull it down and watch it. If you choose to do so, you do so, go ahead. But you know that this is not a film that society sanctioned or that society in Singapore will endorse.
Just to follow up, I think the stance is well recognized, but what do you think of the suggestion that, there should be some government response on the internet because some of these views perpetrated by the firms are incorrect? And, should there be some government response to that on the internet, limiting it to the internet itself?
Well, that would be the ideal situation. Go out to the internet, look up not just where the films are, not just YouTube, not just Facebook, MySpace, or any of the millions of websites where some falsehood about Singapore has been posted, and then nail it down and rebut it. But that's not doable because of the nature of the internet, you see. It is not doable. Websites are springing up by the thousands every minute, you know. It's just simply not possible for government to go out there and reach to every website. And in fact, that is the reason why we have decided that in e-engagement, we should create, we should endorse, we should promote a single platform that will be recognized as the place for Singaporeans who want to give their views, who want to engage the government, who want to know what is the fact, who want to know what the truth behind policies, decision or policy consideration, will go there to look for the facts, you see. And that is why REACH has been created. REACH will serve this role and perform this function to attract all those who want to know the facts, who want to know what is the government's position on a particular policy or regulation. And they can go there. They will know that this is where they can get the facts, this is where they can give their views, and this is where they will get a response for the views that they have given. So, that's why we have decided that we should not wander throughout the whole of the internet, cyberspace, just to debunk every single misleading or a wrong posting, but invite people to come to REACH for a productive, a fruitful, and a objective engagement. And I hope Singaporeans who are surfing the web, who are engaged in new media activities, will over time learn that REACH is a reliable source of information where they can go and check the facts. You see.
Sorry, just one more clarification. You mentioned that the internet election advertising, the government hope that it will be in place before the next elections. What about the change to the party political film?
We will introduce that soon. Well, I expect to be able to introduce this amendment within this by the first quarter of this year, within the next month or two, you see.